Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of RivCast. I am your host, Neil Ray, and here with me today I have former pro skater, bronze medalist in the X Games, and Rivier student, Nolan Monroe. Welcome, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Of course,
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no, super excited about it. When I was first, coming up with the idea of Rivier having a podcast, obviously I wanted to interview students, and like you were the first one that I thought of because I was like, who wouldn't want to hear about this man's life? You know what I mean? Like traveling around and skating, just insane. We're gonna get into all of it because I've heard a lot of crazy stories, and you guys will too now. Absolutely so interesting, and very excited about it. But yeah, how are you doing? Doing well?
Doing well, Nice. Just started snowing out there, so be snowboarding over the weekend, that's for sure.
Nice. What's your favorite mountain? Go to?
Oh, mine is Loon, but lately, the lines have been so crazy around here, so I think I might go all the way up to Killington to really try to get away, so we'll see what happens.
Exciting. All right. Well, let's dive right into it. Let's start off with your background. So how did you get into skateboarding?
Yeah, so it was around Easter time, Easter party at a cousin's house, auntie's house.
Yep.
And one of my younger cousins had a bit older than me, though, because I was still 4.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely in their early teens. Brought her with a boyfriend. His name's Greg. We're still friends on Facebook today because – I give him credit of getting me into skateboarding still, But, he brought his skateboard over, and I was like, wow, what is that? And he's like, well, you want to see what it is? Let's go out to the driveway. He lays me down, right? It just lays me down flat.
Yeah.
And just ollies over me. And my eyes just light up. I was like, Give me that thing right now. You know what I mean? I was just so in awe.
So
I was like
4 years old.
4 years old, and I was just like, wow, I've never seen anything so cool in my life. Like I thought he was like a superhero that like just came out of nowhere and just did this like superpower over me because at that young, it's like at that young, you're just like your imagination goes wild.
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, like
what?
Yeah. Just the simplest trick, and I was like, that's it. That's sold. Like, absolutely sold. Yeah. And then, I asked my parents for my birthday for a skateboard, and they got a skateboard for me. And then ever since that day, I never stopped.
Yeah. Just always going through. Gosh, that's so awesome. So when did you kind of know that maybe like this is something that I want to like really like put my time into or like maybe take more seriously? Was there a point that you kind of like crossed that line?
Right. Yes. There was. Didn't really come till a little bit later on. Mm-hmm. My first skate contest though was here in Nashville that I ever did. Yes, and that was put on by Eastern Border at the old skate park about when I was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. I remember I got I was very nervous too. Yeah. But I ended up getting second place, and that's really the start of me kind of like falling in love with competing with skateboarding because everything before that was just the love for the sport. Yeah. And then I never did a contest, and then with that contest, I was like, wow, this is actually fun to like compete, and then like with your friends and like being in a sport where it's like a friendly kind of competition type thing.
Gotcha.
And then and getting into middle school, my dad's like, hey, there's these amateur contests down in Florida, like would you like want to go? I was like, yes, absolutely, like let's go. Especially you're getting a week 2 weeks off school to go skateboard in Florida. So why not? And we did that, and I think that was the defining moment because I ended up doing really well my years in that amateur series down in Florida.
Gotcha.
To where I was like, wow, like I can go, like I can become a professional skateboarder if I want to, like if I do this the right way.
So cool.
And then right after, I think it was my second year down in doing those amateur contests, I was 14, and then the fifth, turned 15, and then got like huge sponsorships, Power Pro skateboards, Bones wheels, Bones Swiss bearings.
That's crazy.
Trucks, like just a whole lineup of sponsors in literally like a year. And then ended up, at 15 going to like one of the biggest professional skate contests there are for bull riding and making the finals. Really? And then like that was like the point where like I became like pro in like the skateboarding kind of competition world.
Okay. So what competition was that? What was that?
It's the Vans Pool Party.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
huge. I don't even think they put it on anymore just because of like, everything with the COVID stuff that's happened. So it hasn't happened in at least 3 years. But at the time, that was the biggest like bowl contest you could enter for the whole year.
Gotcha. So what are your emotions like when you're getting ready to take your run? Like, are you nervous or
I was so nervous.
Really?
Oh my God, let me tell you, like I wanted to throw up. I remember going up to my dad and I was just like, "Where's a trash can? Like I need to throw up right now." Like and he's like, "Breathe. Like once you drop in, you'll be fine," which is true. Like every time like I did that initial drop in, I'd be fine. But I'm 15 years old and I was competing against guys I played in Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarder.
Yeah. So like you would use their characters and now you're going against them.
Like I have Bob Burnquist walking by me. I have Bucky Lassick, and it's like Bucky Lassick was my favorite character to play. So I was like 15, kind of like an awestruck, like and now I got to compete against this guy.
Gosh.
And I didn't even think I would make it to the finals, and now I'm in like the finals with them.
That's crazy.
So it was like surreal. But then, that was just like the first, but then those guys are all so nice.
Yeah.
You know what I
Really?
mean? Like, oh, absolutely.
So they're not like pretentious or
anything.
No,
like let me tell you,
skaters.
they're just so down to earth and just like accepting of everyone. Just kind of, what the skate culture is kind of all about. And that just like really made me like fall in love with it. Is like you meet your idols and then just you realize they're just like normal people, super down to earth. Like they're not full of themselves. Like some other sports you kind of get a vibe in with some of the athletes like that. And they kind of like took me under their wing. And then after that contest, I was traveling with them to Australia and like all these other places for contests. So
really,
yeah, it was just
so
like a really good moment in my life to where it changed a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have a pool party clip, I believe, if we want to maybe throw that on up. I'm not sure which of the series it was from, but we definitely have one of you shredding in the pool because we were going through, just looking through all the clips. We were like, here we go.
Oh, I remember this one. Yeah. Presented by Rockstar.
Nolan Monroe here is 18 years old. He's the guy that...
We're 18 here. Okay. I see you. A little bit of lag there. That's all right. Brain Police. Hot chicks in hell quick.
Slow and big, and he'll take any trick he's got around that corner. I mean, we saw him down in Bondi this year, and just head and shoulders above what we've seen before from him. And it's just amazing to watch these guys break through that 16 and 17-year barrier.
There we go, having some problems with the video feed, but...
it's YouTube.
I
always have that.
Yeah. Here we go. Now we're cooking.
We look at Nolan Monroe here, who's 18 years old.
He's the guy that has surprised me the most. I had never seen him skate, and then I was just with him in a couple of practice sessions. And the stuff he's doing is some of the hardest stuff here.
So that's Tony Hawk talking right now,
Yes,
right?
that's Tony Hawk talking in the background.
And he'll take any
So
trick
cool.
he's got around that corner. I mean, we saw him down in Bondi this year, and just head and shoulders above what we've seen before from him. And it's just amazing to watch these guys break.
All right, moving on from the.
Tell
me about it. We saw parts of it.
So
Sorry for the technical
this year
difficulties, viewers.
specifically too. This is probably like one of the best years I ever competed at the pool party.
Yeah.
When I was 18, that's like when I just developed, kind of into my own at that point with style, tricks, and everything as a professional skateboarder.
Yeah.
I also had the weight to finally carry me through the air.
Yeah.
Because I grew up, and then learning 540s, which was a crazy struggle. At that point, it's like you had to have a 540 or some variation of spinning into your run to even do well.
Yeah.
So, which even nowadays it is too. If you look at the kids now, it's like in contests they're doing more than 540s. They're doing 720s, 1080s.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Insane tricks. But yeah, at that moment, that was a very special contest just because I really felt like I was a pro at that point. I just felt good, and that was the first year I was sponsored. I ended up getting sponsored by Rockstar too.
Nice.
So that was right before the contest. Rockstar came up to me with Bucky Lassick.
Really?
Yeah, and they were like, we want you to be on Rockstar team
That's
with us. And I was just
crazy.
like, what? You know, and then
But you're
like,
just like, yes.
yeah, and then
What'd
they
you
just
say?
like, I was just like, what? Like, really? Like, I was like kind of almost not knowing what to say,
Yeah.
but obviously I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yes. Like, you know, in my mind, but I'm like not saying it out loud.
Yeah.
But then like, you know, they come out with like this contract with me, and then I was just like, whoa, like, all right, now I'm like out of my realm.
Yeah. Like,
What are
okay, I
you-
gotta sign
like,
something.
like, so at that point, and they were like really nice about it. They're like, this is just gonna be a temporary contract for like this contest right now,
Oh, okay.
just so we can like give you money for
Yeah.
riding in the contest.
That's good.
And then you can wear a helmet. And then after this, then we'll get
Here we
into
go.
like
Now we're
a
moving.
real contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And look at that, you got the Rockstar helmet on right
Oh,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. It looks brand new too.
Oh yeah. It was.
There he is right there.
The
There's
myth, the man, the legend.
Oh my gosh, that's so freaking sweet. So they literally get. So that's good. They're not trying to like scam you or anything.
Yeah,
That's
no.
good. They're just like, we'll give you a temporary contract so
Yeah,
you can ride
and I
right
was
now.
hyped too. I pulled that whole run off.
Really?
You know, and then right here, this is the McTwist. Oh no, that's a kickflip Indy. Into frontside varial. Oh Madonna. I also did a frontside varial around that, which are like tricks no one does. Like those are the first tricks ever, like kind of going around the corner.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Damn, look at how fast. He's just flying, dude. Here we go. You're coming around now. Ooh.
I almost fell off on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say your foot slipping there. Ooh.
Oh, bail right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end. Oh, here, yeah, you're coming
This
in
gap,
now.
I was the
Wow,
first.
That's a huge
yeah,
gap.
I was the first to ever do that. That way.
Wow.
People had done it the
That's
other
so
way.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, this is the 540.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
They love it. That's so crazy. How do you like? Because like I mean like we skate together sometimes, but like I just don't understand like how you're taking off out and then you're landing in the exact same like of the. I just don't get that. Like
It's
I can drop
yeah.
in and like
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
we
we
have
ride,
fun.
yeah.
We ride together. We have fun. For everyone out there, there are pictures and videos. If no one believes that I do skate with Nolan, I do. But
He does,
it is very embarrassing.
I push him. I push him to do things he's probably not comfortable doing.
He does. He does. But it's just crazy to me. Like how do you go up and flip fully and still land perfectly and without hanging up? Like
Right. I mean, well,
How does
you
that
know
happen?
what comes with that is just years and years
Yeah.
and years and years of training. I mean, just like with any sport, you train to be, just to hone in your just every skill set you kind of have within that sport. And that's what you do with skateboarding when you skate every day.
Yeah.
It's like, and then every day you work on something different. And then that eventually leads to, one trick will lead to 10 others.
Yeah.
And then once you learn those 10, each and every trick within that 10 will
Yeah.
lead to another 10.
Yeah.
So it's like the tree of like
That's a good
tricks
way
in
to describe it.
skateboarding will keep growing. And like, that's what happened to me at that point. And then getting comfortable going up in the air and coming back down, that's just, that's a lot of just years of practice and getting over fear
Yeah.
of like falling, because I mean, falling does happen. You're going to fall in skateboarding. It's not like, oh, am I going to fall? No, it's a matter of when are you going to fall? Like, when are you going to take that slam? Because it's coming. Like, it's right around the corner at some point for you, and you better be ready for it. So, so it's just taking those hits, getting back up and trying again. And, I took a lot of them to get those tricks, especially the McTwist where you're going upside down. I tried. That trick literally took me like a year to learn.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, and I just remember months on end, like going to the park, flipping that thing, coming back into the ramp, and then just hitting so hard on the bottom, just falling and just boom. I was at the point where I was wearing hip pads, knee pads, elbow pads, and a helmet. I was wearing the hip pads because I would just fall on my side when I would get to the bottom every time and just smash,
Just absolutely.
and then just have to get up and like try again, So, because I wanted it,
Yeah.
and so it's like at that point, and I had no one there to like show me, just being from the East Coast, all the vert skaters out in California. So
the pools in California.
you're like here alone, just trying to like figure it out.
Yeah.
And that one was rough, but man, once I finally got it, it was a game changer.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, as it was. And I do believe we have a clip of one of Nolan's very, very large McTwists.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about your X Games appearance a little bit, how that whole process works and how you got there, like how it felt, like give us the rundown.
Yeah. So when I started doing X Games, I actually started it when I was an amateur, when they had these amateur contests there, but they never filmed them or anything. It was like a test run before they put the pros on for live TV.
Okay.
They're like, well, we'll have a mock contest kind of, but for us, it was a contest.
Yeah.
For them, it was a mock contest.
Try to test the mics.
Test the mics, test everything out, see how it sounds, see if it's right for TV, and that's what we did as amateurs before I went pro. And what a cool experience that was, though, because at least we were at X Games. Instead of watching it on TV, we're there watching it live.
Did you use the same course and same park and all
that?
Oh,
yeah. We used everything the same. So we would just go around and skate everything. And man, what a treat that was at like a young age, is to like be like part of this, like kids of 14. There's probably like 14 of us.
Yeah.
To be part of this small group of 14 kids to like come skate the X Games courses before the pros went on. So I kind of started. I had an experience with X Games on that level before I even went, and then when I became pro, I actually ended up doing a few contests in the park contests they hold.
Nice.
I actually ended up doing really well in those. The first one I did, I ended up making finals. I think I got like, didn't do too top well, but like I got top 10. I think I got like 8th or 7th or something like that. And then next year, just completely bombed it. And then, which happens, you have your bad days, you have your good days. But then the year later, it was I was 19 years old, 2012. I had just came off like a France trip. I just got like second place out in where was I? I was in Marseille, France, for this crazy like legendary bowl contest that's out there that's been happening for like decades. You know what I mean? And I ended up getting second, janking like my wrists up, like because I went out that night just to try to bomb a hill. And it just...
You didn't enter the contest?
No, I entered. This was after the contest. But, yeah, we all ended up going out to a party. And then, I think it's a good idea, like, oh, hey, let's grab our skateboards, like, bomb this hill while we're in the bag. And just... It wasn't a good idea. Let's just say that.
Funny.
Yeah. So I remember going to X Games, like, under my gloves.
Yeah.
Here, I have like my wrists like all taped up from like road rash from like putting my hands down and just sliding on the pavement. You know what I mean? So I just like no skin whatsoever on like my hands in this clip. So, but ended up getting there, and being a part of Big Air wasn't something even expected.
Yeah. Okay. So you just thought you were gonna be doing vert, or, like, the pool stuff.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be doing like the pool stuff, the park stuff. But I surprisingly didn't get invited back. And then, a few years ago, like before this, probably like 3 years before this, I ended up going out to California just for the summer. Bob invited me to come to his house, Bob Burnquist.
Sick.
And, which is awesome, but at this time, like me and Bob had like a pretty solid relationship through skateboarding as friends. So he was like, all right, like, you snowboard, Nolan, right? You're from East Coast. I was like, yeah, I love snowboarding. Like, he's like, you do big jumps? I was like, yeah, I do, like, big jumps. And he's like, come skate the Mega. And let me tell you, I've never been so excited in my life. Like, a lot of people be like, oh, Mega Ramp, not me. I was like, Mega Ramp, like, here we come, like, and that's something I've always wanted to do ever since I saw, like, the DC video back in the day with Danny Way, where he introduced the Mega. And I remember thinking that was, like, the coolest thing I've ever seen on a skateboard. Just so big, so dangerous. Like, you can possibly die on the thing because you're going so big.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like 3 stories tall. Like, it's insane. So I ended up doing that, and then just really kind of, I just remember Bob talking to me. He's like, well, do you want to go or do you want to like wait? And like as he's like trying to give me advice, I just went. Like I didn't even listen to him. Yeah, I just dropped in. And he's like, well, I guess that's one way to do it, And then ended up, fine. And I was like, oh, that's not so bad. So going up, and then I finally landed it, and then everything, and then I ended up doing like a 360 over it, and I did 360 first try, and Bob was just like, what the heck? Like, he's like, I've never seen anyone just come in and then just do 360 over it first try, like first day on Mega, So that was like a big kind of defining moment. But then, coming back home, we have no Mega.
Yeah.
So I just didn't do Mega for like 3 years. I just did it like that 1 week for like a few days during the week, and then X Games invited me to a Mega Ramp contest.
After
and all these kids that were skating the Mega that were invited, they all been like training. Yeah. Like legit training for this event. You know what I mean? And I'm here and I'm like, I've not like been training. Like I'm just like, I'm pretty much like a wild card. Yeah. I'm filling someone's spot, I feel like. So just to even come into that contest was like a shock to me, you know what I mean? And then to be on third place, like
so
come out. This is
year.
This video.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Do you want to let's see it. So this is you with maybe 3 weeks of training and not for 3 years.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's absurd.
So this is like the extent of my training was at this ramp.
Oh my god. Look at that. That's a face of like,
that's shock.
God.
That's shock.
Wow. That is insane. Oh, can we get let's get it one more time. Let's get it one more time. Like, I just don't. I had no idea you weren't even training. And you hit a mean 362. Oh my gosh. Wow. And that's a record, right?
Yeah, at that point in time, that was a record for highest 540, highest McTwist.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
And all these kids are wow. So what are you feeling right now? You're at the top of the Mega Ramp. Like, where's your head at?
So,
like give me a breakdown.
Right there at that specific moment, it's screw it. That's just a screw it face. Like, I'm making it or I'm dying like right now. You know what I mean? So that's that face right there.
Oh my gosh.
That's just pure focus. And then right before I went to, and I remember even saying in my head, like, screw it. Like I'm just go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. Like, what am I gonna like? There's nothing to lose right now. But then right after that, it just I had such extreme focus that I blacked out.
Really?
Oh yeah, I remember landing, and then after I landed, I came off the ramp, and then that's when I felt like I came back.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? I was just like wait, what did I just do? Like, and all my friends are coming up to me, like shaking me, like, what I mean? We're like going crazy because they couldn't believe because no one expected me out of like anyone to like do that. So it was just like everyone was just in shock. I myself was in shock.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, oh my God. And then like even looking back on it, it's like so hard to believe because like in that moment in time, I was like so focused. Like I just don't remember like what my thought process was. The one thing I do remember, which I think I came to just for a second in the blackout kind of the focus to focus again was like when I was upside down in the air going up in the quarter. And then once I got to that peak, like the peak, and then you're starting to fall back down, I just remember complete silence.
Really?
Like you just hear quiet because you like, there's no wind, you're not falling, you're not going up anymore. So you just stop and it's just complete silence.
Like frozen.
And then all of a sudden, like I just remember like seeing the landing, and then all of a sudden it's like you're falling out of the sky, like and like you hear the wind just like going faster and faster, and then I was just like landed, and then don't remember the landing, and because that's like the scariest part is the landing, so I don't remember the landing, and then after that I was just like, wow, I made it. I'm alive.
Arms out, boom.
It was a wild moment. It was special. That was a special moment.
And you got third place for that. Like that was your last. So how does that work with like the scoring and stuff? Like how many runs did you have?
I don't even know at that point because every year it like changes with X Games.
Interesting.
Like they always change the format. It's like they can't seem to stick to one that like they think works the best. And actually that year too, that one, there was like a qualifying event, and then there was like a semifinal, and then there was a final. So there was a lot of events leading up to the point where it's on TV, to where now every year after it's invite only, like that certain amount of number.
That's what I was wondering. Like,
so which I disagree. I don't like that format whatsoever, because how are you going to get the best riding if you're not inviting all these underdogs that might have something that these guys you invited don't? Like, you just don't know. So, like, at that point, I think that's when they had the best kind of format, because you're inviting everyone when doing a qualification, doing semi, like, and then the final. And that way you literally are getting the best riding out of that.
No, I mean, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Rather than just like the stars, like, which are obviously, you know, everyone, it's fun, but
it's fun. It's all for, you know, TV, you know. And then it's after that, you know, I didn't do well years later, because I never really practiced on Mega. Yeah. You know, and they're like, well, Nolan, you're riding Mega. And I was like, yeah, that was like a fluke. Yeah. Like, I'm into bowl skateboarding. Yeah. Like, that's what I like to do. I like to ride bowls, pools, stuff like that. And I was like, that was just like kind of like a weird fluke that I like messed the system up or something, you know. And now everyone thinks like Nolan's a mega ramp rider, you know. Like, it's like, no, like I enjoy skating pools, bowls, like, so you know. Funny. Even though I do enjoy skating Mega, it's fun. But it's never wanted to like be Mega. Let me tell you, it is scary. Yeah, like, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
You don't have to tell me. I don't even. I'm just looking at it. Terrifying. Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's crazy though, like what people can do on it, especially like you know, when you're watching like the Woodward videos and stuff, and you see these like little kids like, oh, like first dropping on the Mega, like see how I do, and they're like 6. I'm like, okay, like this is just absurd.
Yeah,
like,
and those kids have, and
they just go fly.
And they can fall too, and because they're so low to the ground. Yep. And they just like they'll just slide and not tumble or anything, you know what I mean? And and then they just spin like a top. It's crazy. Like, you know, I have kids doing 900s on it now that are like 12 years old. You're just like, how? And then you have Mitchie Brusco, like, like 3 years ago, did a 1260.
Yeah, that's like ridiculous.
I was just like, you know, Mitchie's a good friend of mine, because we were on Rockstar at the same time. And me and him are like really good friends, and just, I was like, wow, dude, like I can't even imagine, like, and that's why at that time too, everyone was doing like 720s and stuff, and I didn't have that on the Mega Ramp, so I was just like, I'm just gonna go as high as I can. Yeah.
So, but I remember, because
that's all I got.
Yeah, even when Tony Hawk sees it too, he's like, when you land the 360, like, oh, he landed that, like he's gonna take off right here, because like obviously if you landed higher up on the jump, you're getting less speed, because you're kind of like hitting it in a worse spot. Yeah. But he's like he's about to like, and then you just take off. Oh yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
It was crazy. It was a good moment.
Yeah. All right. What do we got here, Oscar? Let's see this one. This looks fun. Where are we here?
This is Ocean City, Maryland for Dew Tour.
Fun.
This is one of my favorite contests that I've always did. Because what a town.
Yeah, no, it looks really fun. This is a cool pool. This one's a little different from the other one, a little more open.
Oh, yeah, very open.
Oh, yeah.
Such a great contest. I'm not sure. I might get hurt here.
I don't know if this is the one that you get hurt. I'm pretty sure we have that clip too, though.
It might be another. Yeah, there are a few. Oh yeah, nope, made that run. Yep. Oh yeah,
that was a good one. No falls there. Look at that.
Look at that.
You know, young. Oh, I think you might have fallen around before.
I definitely fell before. Oh, there's Bucky, my idol.
Yeah, there he is. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
But
so tell me about that contest.
That one, that was definitely like one of my favorite bowl contests. That Dew Tour, you know, RIP. You know, they don't do it anymore. Yeah, sad. Like all those bowl contests started dying, unfortunately. But that was my favorite, especially because it was on East Coast. Yeah, like my parents could drive down to watch it, and like so seeing my parents and everything was amazing. And to be at that contest with my parents watching. You know, because they never traveled with me really once I got a certain age to like go do these contests. Because, you know, they had to work and I was doing my thing. So that one was just always nice and special, and like have my friends come down as well from New Hampshire and watch. So we always had like a big group. You know, it was always a rager there. Like, you know, after the contest, which is great vibes. Yeah. And then Dew Tour also did like this great thing then too, where it's like excuse me, they were doing not only like the skate contest,
Yeah.
but after the contest, they were holding concerts
Really?
right on the beach with Dew Tour. It was like, you know,
So it was like a collaboration.
Yeah, it was like a collaboration.
That's so
So
cool.
I remember, like, I think they played like Imagine Dragons one night, and then there was a few DJs. Can't remember the exact. I can't remember the exact DJ, but and to be young and just like be part of like that experience with Dew Tour.
I can't imagine.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was a great time. And then I remember I fell.
Yeah. Looking like this.
I fell like I think it was like a run before or something, and I ended up falling, and my hand went down, and my elbow like ended up catching my ribs and like my like body kind of landed on top of my elbow.
Oh god.
And it just it ended up breaking one rib. So like the rest of the contest, I had to ride with like a broken rib.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
God. So that's why when you got off last
Yeah.
that one, you're like,
And which
oh.
ouch. I couldn't breathe right there.
Yeah.
That was like. It doesn't even look like it. I know when I see the fall, I'm like, it doesn't even look like I hit, you know, my rib. But I ended up breaking one rib.
Goes back
Yeah,
to you.
I ended up breaking one rib somehow.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe. I had to go to the medical tent.
Yeah.
You know, and they felt, and like I just couldn't. It was in so much pain. I was like, what can you guys do? They're like, nothing. I was
Like, what do you want us to do, bro?
I was
Picture
like,
rib.
great. They're like, we suggest like you shouldn't ride.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, no, I didn't come all this way to not ride and not make money. Like,
yeah, because that's how with your sponsorships.
yeah, that's how
like,
with your sponsorships and incentives and everything it works. It's like you have to get like you know, the better you place, the more you make. So I was like, no, I was like, I'm gonna man up, come through, and I did, and I don't know how I did, like, because I was in so much pain, like I could barely breathe. I remember being in the bowl, like trying to breathe, like, and just like,
little short,
just like short, quick breaths, and like, because it was just so painful, you know, right there. But it ended up being a good turnout. So
no, we love it. Let's go into a little more on the injuries. What are some of the worst, some of the biggest crashes? I know I've heard a few of them, but what else you got?
Overall, I think I've broken. I don't even. I started to stop losing count.
Yeah.
How many? But you know, I've broken each wrist like multiple times. Broken each ankle multiple times. My foot. My arms a few times. My elbow, pelvic bone. A bad one though was, which those all seem bad, but I mean, when you're talking like fractures on the bone, it's not. It is bad, like it's painful, but it's a fracture. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Happens.
it's like nothing at this point to me. But the worst one was probably out in California. I was just practicing, and when I was living at the Rockstar House, and out in San Diego.
Sick.
And I ended up falling, like I think like 14 feet with my arm behind me. And it just snapped right in half.
Yeah.
And when I lifted it, and I just remember being just like, whoa. Even before I like looked at my arm, I just remember being like, just like this weird pain that just like came over me that I've never felt in my life. Like it was like so painful, like just like a you know, like a normal broken bone. Like you wouldn't get this pain. Yeah. But I looked down. And my arm is just like completely snapped in half, and like the bone is sticking out, you know. And I was just like, wow. I was like, all right, like, someone call 911. Like I try to remain calm, but I wasn't calm on the inside at all. I was just like I was like freaking out on the inside, but I was like, I gotta stay cool. Yeah. Like. But I was freaking out. But I remember I have like the bone sticking out. I don't even know where the photo went. But I had a photo with like the bone sticking out, and then like
you know,
I had it like
don't worry
I was
about
like
it.
wow, like I was like holding my arm up like this with it, and I was like, you know what, probably don't worry about it because like I doubt people want to see that anyway. But it was just, but yeah, that one was really bad.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, and then about like 3 years, and you know, I thought that was gonna be the end of like bones sticking out of my skin.
Yeah, and it
but it wasn't.
Oh,
no.
gosh.
So, about 3 years ago, or 3 years after that incident, and then about 4 years ago, actually 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
I was like just in a side by side with my friend.
Yeah.
Just at a mountain, like doing shenanigans.
Yeah.
In a side by side, as everyone likes to do. And when you hop in one of those,
Yep.
and it flipped.
Oh boy.
And it landed on top of my leg, and those things are heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like heavy. And I knew my leg was broken right away when it landed on my leg.
Okay.
Because I was like, at this point, it's like I've known what broken bones feel like. Like when you can't walk on them, or if they're just sprained. You know what I mean? Like I know when it's good and when it's not, because I've done it so many times. But I was just like, yep. Like right away, I was like, it's broken.
Yeah. Just like.
And I'm like, can you? And I was like calm about it because the pain hadn't set in yet. I was just like, yeah, my leg's broken. Can you get this thing off, and then like just bring me to the hospital?
Yeah.
And once they lifted the side by side off my leg, that's when I was just like, whoa, like got that surge of pain like I felt in my arm, but with my leg.
Okay, it's the same kind of thing.
So same kind of feeling, which is not good. Not a good feeling at all. Like because it's not only are you getting like a broken bone, but your bone is tearing through ligaments, muscle, like, so it's making like just the pain like 10 times like magnified almost. Especially when you're tearing through ligaments, like that's like the worst.
Yeah.
Even in my wrist, cause like my arm, cause I tore through ligaments here. I have my fingertips, I have no feeling. And the top of these fingertips might be like
just nothing.
Yeah, they're just numb. Like like when your hands asleep.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm just used to it now. At first, it bothered me. Like, God, like my hand just feels asleep all the time.
Yeah.
Or at least these two fingers. Now it's like I'm used to it. Like it doesn't bother me. But yeah, they're still like numb forever. And that's just because of nerve damage and ligament damage. And then same with the leg, but yeah, and then I remember being like on the ground, like they lifted up the machine off, and I was like, all right, can you guys like check my pants, like cut my pants and see if bones are sticking out? Because I just had a feeling, just with that pain, I was just like, I feel like bones are sticking out of my leg. Friend cuts the pants, and I was like, he just stops, and I'm just like, I was like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Not again. I was like, are bones sticking out? And he's like, yep, bones are sticking out.
Oh
and I was like, great. And then not to come to find out, it wasn't just one bone, it was both of them sticking out of my leg. So my leg snapped in half. One bone went out my shin, like was sticking out my shin. And then the other bone made a massive hole in the back of my leg. And then the skin was just gone. So it legit looked like someone took a gun right to my shin and just went, and then like, the back of it just exploded out. Like, so it was gnarly. Like this is probably the gnarliest thing I've ever seen. And I remember going to the hospital and like the doctors were just like,
like they were shocked too.
Oh yeah. Like, I was sitting in the chair too, just bleeding everywhere, and they actually ended up my friends put a tourniquet around my leg because blood was just like, just coming out. It was scary. Like I've never been scared like this before. Like where I was, I was bleeding so much where I was like concerned.
Like you thought you were gonna bleed out.
Yeah. Like and luckily the doctor said that my friends that put the tourniquet on he took his belt off and used it as a tourniquet and was like, your friend probably like saved you like a lot of time, coming here because we had to travel like 30 minutes, to get to the hospital. And a lot of people would call the ambulance. I was like, nope, no time. Put me in the truck. It's like, let's go. So,
that's crazy.
That was a painful ride. I remember my friend picking me up, and that's like, I felt like my leg just like dangle. Like you know what I mean? Like nothing holding it. Yeah, it was. That one was for the books. But and then so with my arm and my leg, like in my arm, I have 2 plates, 14 screws, holding that bad boy together. My leg, I ended up getting like a skin graft on the back to fill that hole, and they took the skin from my thigh. Nice. and then they hammered through my bone a titanium rod that goes from my knee all the way to my ankle.
Gotcha.
2 bolts in my ankle, 2 bolts in my knee.
Wow.
So that will never come out.
Robotic man.
Yeah, that will never come out. But it's stronger than ever now.
That's
so,
good. That's good. Yeah.
At least it won't break, but it will bend.
It will definitely bend.
It might bend, but I don't think it will break.
Kick me. That's crazy though. Tell me about the one. Remember the where you were saying you fell in warm-ups, and then like everyone's like, "Don't skate, don't skate," but then like because I think it was a mega one or whatever. Didn't you have a big crash?
Oh
you, like,
yeah,
had a concussion or
yes.
something?
I've had a few of those actually. Now that you bring those up,
maybe it's the concussion.
Yeah, maybe it's the concussions now that
Just
yeah,
forget.
exactly. See, that's what happens. Always wear your helmet, kids. So it was in Brazil. I was competing, in mega ramp. This was after 2012. This was 2013. And then X Games was doing this thing where it just wasn't one location. They ended up having like 4 others around the world.
Cool.
So this was like the second location, I think, and then it was in Foz do Iguaçu, Brazil. I could be butchering that, but
That's okay.
sorry.
I'm not the one to correct
Yeah.
you. It sounded good to me.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous area. It's like all
Yeah.
jungle. Like you're in the rainforest.
Yeah.
And like you have Argentina on one side, Brazil on one, with this crazy river in the middle of you.
Yeah.
And the venue was there, and like what a place to hold. Like it was such a great experience. But like right before the contest, we're all practicing, warming up. I just do a run. I do like a trick, but I end up pulling out a little bit too far off the quarter pipe.
Yeah.
And then so I ended up falling probably like 30 feet.
Yeah.
And like I try to land on my feet with the
Yeah.
board. And when I hit the ground, just folded. Just folded
Oh my
completely and just
God.
like, it was so bad. And then I definitely was concussed because I just remember seeing stars.
Yeah.
And and then the medical is like running up to me, and once I see him running up to me, I just like get up to my feet as fast as I can. I'm like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, back, because like I want to skate obviously
yeah,
in the
make some money.
contest to make some money. Like I come all the way here, it's a bummer to like drop out because of this, which probably isn't smart. The smart decision,
Definitely not. I would say definitely.
It definitely
Probably.
isn't, but skateboarding is such a you don't make a lot of money skateboarding, so
Yeah.
it's like the little opportunity you have to make with those contests and everything. Like it's like you have to, because that's like your livelihood, that's your living, your living expenses, everything at that point. So they just ended up kind of like arguing with me, and I just told them no, I'm fine. Then I ended up skating the event, and I didn't do well. I ended up making my last run though.
That's good.
Very last run, so at least I did that. I made a run.
That's good.
But my head was just not right. And then like there's photos of me like even after that I have with like my friends, and like I have this big like scrape across my whole face, like from like wood burn from my head, like sliding across the. And it was it was after the fact, it was funny, but luckily I didn't hit my head again in the event, and then once it was over, we were done.
That's good.
So
That's
like
good.
I had like a whole week to like in Brazil, like relaxing after that, which was amazing.
Yeah, no. And speaking of Brazil, we'll shift to a maybe lighter subject than you're destroying your body. So talk about some of the, you've been traveling and stuff for these competitions. Like, where are some of your favorite countries? Some of the coolest places you've been?
Yeah.
Like, give me a little, because it just seems like every contest you're like, oh yeah, I was in France and Brazil. It's like I want to give me some more.
My God, there's so many, and to everyone out there that listens, the one thing I think everyone should do in their life at least once is get out of country.
Yeah.
Like experience a different culture, because it changes you as a person for the better. It changed me, and just going to all these different cultures, let me tell you, it really makes you humble.
Yeah.
Especially to like, what we have here in America, especially if you go to places that don't nearly have as much as we do.
Yeah.
And those places really shocked me. So, while I'm on that subject, I went to South Africa, a town called Kimberley. And back in the day, it was a diamond mine.
Really?
And like we went to this hotel, and like right next to the hotel, it's like this massive hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Where it's like people dug this hole. Like people died digging this hole.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy to see that, because the people there have nothing.
Yeah.
So we were like giving out our skateboards and stuff, and then you come in and it's like, everyone like does it. It's like we have everything.
Yeah.
I was just in a place where those kids literally have nothing, and then you just showing up to like skate at an event for them. They're so excited to see you. Like it was just cool. It's a very humbling experience doing that. But other countries like I've traveled to that I absolutely love is like my number one is probably like Australia.
Okay.
Love Australia.
Nice.
The skateboard scene there, incredible.
Yeah.
Everyone's so humbling.
Really.
So humbling. So like, a lot of the countries I would go to too, my mom would always get mad at me because she'd be like, well, did you get a hotel? I'd be like, nah, no hotel. I would just show up to the skate park.
Yeah.
It would be my first place, show up to the skate park and then find someone and be like, oh, yeah, I got a place to stay, So
Just
it's
go
like,
crash them.
yeah, you go and then you learn, like you get the local tour.
Yeah.
So Australia, New Zealand, those are definitely top ones. Brazil, it's definitely a big one. China was a lot of fun. China was awesome just to like explore like the city, like the urban environment there is like incredible.
Really?
Especially for skateboarding. If you're in like in the street skating, like holy cow, like what a lot of things to do there.
Street spots everywhere.
Just street spots everywhere.
So cool.
I also went to Poland. Poland was another humbling experience. Just because they talk about a country that has like nothing for skateboarding whatsoever. It's like shocking, what little they have. The skaters there are very grateful.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool experience to see. Marseille, France, like I said, that one is always awesome. What a rich skate culture that, they have down there with that bowl and everything. And then just all over the United States too.
Yeah.
Just like, just road tours,
Must have been so much fun. You said you were living in the Rockstar House in California.
Yeah, and that's in San Diego. So my homie Elliot Sloan, who's now sponsored by Monster, just on his Instagram, but he's still doing great with skateboarding. But yeah, he owned the house, but Rockstar built a vert ramp, and now there's like a mini mega ramp there.
Sick.
That's like unbelievable. So I'm hoping to go back one day and try it out, but. Nothing crazy is gonna go on. Like I'm not gonna try to like bust out McTwist on the thing, but to see all my homies like that I grew up like traveling the world with, like all these kids that I traveled the world with, like everyone was in high school, kind of like when I was in high school, this is like I was starting to like travel the world with these guys.
That's crazy.
So it's like those are like it's like a high school reunion for me to like go back and see them, That's
so cool.
So I keep in contact with all those guys still. So yeah, they're all doing great.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, well, as we're kind of wrapping up here, let's hear about Nashville Skate Fest, your most recent big project. Let's hear it. Give me the.
I'm excited about this one. So Nashville Skate Fest, it's going to be the first skateboarding event here in Nashua that's been done in, God, I don't even know how long. And that's what really got me on the idea, because we have this great new skate park now.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Love skating.
Yeah.
Love skating.
Oh yeah, everyone does.
And I'm not even a good pool vert skater, but it's still fun.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to be.
It's a fun place to go to. It's a good vibe.
Yeah.
I met a lot of friends there that are my friends here from now, like here in Nashua now.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, like that's where I met them, was the skate park. So just the vibes there are great. And I started the skate camp, which has been very successful over the summers.
Yep.
And so I was like, let's try to take a little step further. Let's do a skateboard event, So I went to the city, with a class with Meehans at Rivier.
Yep.
And
our most recent guest, he was right before you.
Yep. It was like his non-profit leadership class, and he wanted us to create an event or some sort of non-profit type organization. You know what I mean? And he wanted to do it for real. And no one in the class had an idea, and I was just like, I just have all these ideas always in my head.
Yeah.
I just always think of new things. It's like I can't stop it. And then I want to do it.
Yeah.
So and this gave me an opportunity to just kind of take it a step further. Instead of maybe taking, longer, I could be fast tracked with this class. So I saw that opportunity, and I was just like, I got an idea. Boom, put it out there. He loved it. But it's going to be a skate festival with for the nonprofits of Nashua. It's to raise awareness for the nonprofits of Nashua, and also raise money for the nonprofits of Nashua.
Nice.
And not only just Nashville, but we also have a nonprofit from Milford, which is the Memo Foundation, which, you know, they raise money to go towards their little skate park there and everything. So, and it's just, and for even other things besides that skate park now, because now they've done that. So now there's like other projects they've been doing with their money, which is amazing. It's a great group to work with. And, yeah, it's just going to be a good event. We have a lot of vendors, you know, Casanova's going to be involved, vendor there, like, and the whole city's involved. The mayor's going to be there, make a presence, show up, do a speech. So everything's kind of coming around. We got a bunch of sponsors now, skate companies, all that.
I will definitely be there.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's definitely going to be a good one.
What's the date of this?
May 7th.
May 7th.
Yep.
All right. Put it in your calendars. Nashville Skate Fest with Nolan Monroe. Ex-pro. All right. Well, Nolan, thank you so much, dude. It was so great to talk to you. Anything else you want to throw in before you take off?
I don't know. This podcast was amazing. So
love it, man.
This was a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for listening.